Welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors, everyone, and my 2025 Minnesota bear hunt. We are 2 days in, so yesterday was the start of our season here in Minnesota. I did hunt last night unsuccessfully, as you guys can probably tell from watching this video. So I went in yesterday and baited bait number 1 again, and it had not been hit again, which is very surprising because that was the hot bait. On trail camera, I had 5+ bears come and hit that bait before I had to pull my trail camera out of there. So the fact that it's been essentially 4 days without it being hit was very surprising. That was the stand I was hoping to hunt the first day of the season here, because they've been talking, I've been watching the weather. It was supposed to be a southerly wind, which it was yesterday. So I ended up going in and baiting bait number 2, and that one got hit on Sunday, which you guys seen in my last pre-baiting video. If you haven't watched the pre-baiting stuff, you can go back and watch those videos as well. So it had not gotten hit yesterday either, but that was the stand I sat on because it was a southerly wind, and baits 1 and 2 were set up for a southerly wind, or bait 1 more so than 2. But so I ended up sitting there. I got in there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I sat till about 8:15. I maybe could have sat there 5-10 minutes longer, but it gets dark very quickly in the woods. And I was just kind of done hanging there, nothing going on. Seen 1 little red squirrel, and that was it. So I packed up and got out of there while I still could see decently to get out of the woods. So a little disappointed by that. Yesterday I did bait number 3, which is where I'm setting right now. It had gotten hit again, basically cleaned me out again yesterday. I had dumped 2 gallons of bait there on Sunday, and yesterday, Monday, it was completely gone. Knowing that it had been getting cleaned out every day, I actually dumped 4 gallons of bait out here yesterday. Also knowing that the wind was going to change, and most of this week I'll be hunting this bait. Last night we had a storm roll through about 9 o'clock, so I was just back to town, just kind of getting settled into my motel room, and a big thunderstorm come through. One of the locals said we figured we got close to an inch of rain last night. So everything's wet. The wind switched. We had a cold front move through. It's at least 15 degrees colder right now than it was the same time yesterday, because we were flirting with 80 plus yesterday. It may even got hotter than that in the afternoon after I was in my stand. But it was 80 while I was baiting, and it was 64 when I just pulled up right now. The wind direction switched. It is blowing, I think, a little more northerly than I would like, but it's northwest. I think it's supposed to actually turn more westerly as the day goes on here as well, which is perfect for this stand. So I'm setting by bait 3. I have not baited it yet today. So with all that said, no bears hit baits 1 and 2 yesterday. They hit 3. I rebaited 3 with 4 gallons of bait, hoping to make sure there's plenty of bait and the bears stay coming into this bait, especially now after the wind change and this front move through. I just went and baited bait number 1, and it actually finally got hit today. So the wind change had 100% to do with that bait getting hit in my mind. So I'm tucked up right close. I'm like 50 yards from the neighbors there. I don't think it helped that they actually were cutting and baling hay on the field right to the north of my bait there. Basically since Friday, they looked like they had cut it either Thursday or Friday, and they baled it yesterday. I don't think the extra noise and stuff out there helps my baits want to come into the bears come into that bait because it's so close. And then also we've had a south wind, so in order for the bears to know my bait is there to catch the scent, they either just need to be curious, but to smell it, they actually would have had to walk up by that field, and I don't think they want to do that. And that's why I have my bait set up the way I do, to stop them from trying to circle downwind to me if I'm sitting there. But with that in mind, the wind changed overnight, and it looks like it got hit sometime after it rained. Because my bait is there. It looks like the ganoa, a lot of it's kind of turned into mush, is laying there. They ate most of it. There's just a little bit left there, but all the candies are all gone. The licorice, dots, candy corn, all that stuff is all ate. It was just a little bit of ganoa there, and they had actually been there since it rained, because you could tell, like, the paw prints, it almost like stuck to their paws, so it had to have been wet. So they would have been there after it rained last night. So they were there either overnight or this morning before I got there. And I got there at like 12:30 or so today. I did not go and bait number 2 today, because now that bait 1 got hit, I probably won't be hunting bait 2 at all unless bait 1 stops getting hit again. Like if it just is getting hit every other day or something, I won't. I'll probably worry about hunting that bait, and I don't know if I'm going to get the right wind to go set that bait, at least for this foreseeable future, for the next like 4 or 5 days. With that in mind, it turned northwest, it turned cool. I'm by bait number 3. I'm a little bit earlier than I wanted to. That's why I decided to stop and film for you guys. This bait, again, has been getting hit every day since it didn't get hit Saturday. When I checked it, it had not gotten hit, but every day since. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it had gotten hit every day, and they basically cleaned it out, the entire thing. So leads me to believe there's probably several smaller bears coming in. I don't know that for sure, but I don't think like one bear is going to clean out 4 gallons of bait in one night. So I had dumped 4 gallons Friday. Saturday it had not gotten hit, but Sunday when I showed up, it was all gone. So they had ate 4 gallons from Saturday when I was here till Sunday, so in 24 hours. So that kind of tells me there's more than one bear in here, which is good. I just hope one of them is a shooter, let's put it that way. I don't know where my line is on how big a bear it's going to have to be. I just want to get a bear in the bait while I'm there, and we will make the call once that happens. I am going to try and film with a Tacticam in there. I am not going to film with my GoPro until after the fact. If I do happen to get an arrow in one, we'll maybe film tracking, and we'll see what I can get on film. If it's after dark, I won't be filming with any camera until after I find the bear, and then we'll see what happens. But we'll try to get some footage of it if I do happen to get lucky and get a bear. So this bait here, last night when I hunted bait 2, I actually carried bait in there with the idea that it got hit Sunday, so you would have thought it had got hit yesterday, and it didn't. But I ended up leaving my pails basically setting right behind me. There's a little dip there, and my bait is kind of up on the flat, and there's just a little drainage. I don't know, a natural low spot there. So from my bait, you couldn't see the pails, but I left them, and I actually could have shot to them. So if a bear would have circled downwind of me and tried to mess with my pails, I could have shot him. I cannot do that in this bait. I'm so far in there, and I think the bears could very easily be downwind, behind me at any given point, just wandering around looking for berries and other things that I just don't want to risk having my pails there. I'd have to basically leave them at the foot of my tree, and then again, I don't want to have anything attracting the bears closer to my tree, especially if it's a small bear that I don't plan on shooting. I don't want to mess with my pails and make a noise right underneath my tree. So I'm going to walk in today and bait, and then I'm going to walk back to my truck here, which it's a long walk in and out of there. It's about a 1/4 mile plus each way, but I'm going to walk in and bait, walk back out. I have all my camo and stuff sitting right next to me. My bow is right here. We're going to come back out, drop all the bait off, change clothes because I'm sweated up just a little bit. And I'm also damp from walking through the trees. I'm hoping once I get in there and I knock kind of the water off the trees baiting, I can come out and put dry clothes on and then walk back in there and hunt. So I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe 15 minutes for me to walk out, change clothes, and walk back in. And hopefully there's not a bear on my bait already by then. If there is, we'll deal with it. Maybe I can spot and stalk in on him, or just sit there and wait till he walks off, because I'm sure they're kind of coming and going all day. So, but that's my plan. Get in there, bait, come back out, change clothes, go back in. And I think that's going to be, this is most likely going to be the bait I'm hunting again most of the week here, and that's going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to bait the other baits as I need to or as I feel like I want to, and then once I get up here, we're going to walk in and bait, come out and change, and then walk back in and hunt. So definitely going to carry in a sweatshirt today. Yesterday, I mean, it was hot and I was sweating just hanging there, hunting out of a tree saddle. So today, I think we're going to dress a little bit light going in to try not and get too sweated up. That's why I'm wearing just a t-shirt. It's almost a little cool out there, but, you know, carrying the bait and everything else and walking a half mile through the woods, quarter mile in, quarter mile out, you're going to get sweated up a little bit. So dress light to try and keep me cool so I don't get too sweated up, to keep my scent down a little bit in there. And all right, that's all I got for you guys for this clip. Hopefully the next clip is me showing you a bear. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next Schmattz Outdoors video.